Hey there everybody, my name is Kate and welcome to my channel, Trenergy Awakens Naturally. As is the case, whenever I am out in Mother Nature, I experience some of the most amazing and profound, wonderful things. They're considered gifts, and so I'm going to do my stream of consciousness thing and just kind of relate the story to you. Talking a little bit about faith, a whole lot about faith, which, some people struggle with it every now and then. I'm having my round of doubt, as we do. Humans are subject to have our faith tested lots and lots and lots. And really, it's not about chastising ourselves when we get to those moments. I had to snicker, and I'll get to the story in just a moment, but I had to snicker when I realized I was getting all hot and bothered and nervous about something, and then there it is, just relax and let it go. Let it unfold naturally. And that can be a little bit, tense sometimes because I want things to go well. I want that to work out. And please, oh no, let me help. What can I do? So I'm walking in this beautiful trail. I'm very familiar with it. It's a gorgeous trail. I don't generally see animals on that part of the trail because it's so heavily trafficked by human beings that, there is not a lot of animal footprint that really interfaces with me up close and personal. Usually it's the human animal interface that happens, and it's fairly benign. But as I was going and on my way back to my car, the weather's looking a little bit, funky, and we're getting the foreplay, from Mother Nature of what spring's really going to be like. Today it's 70 something and tomorrow it's going to be 35. So here in Colorado Springs, we are very flexible with what clothing we wear. When they say layers, they mean lots of them too. So, and 3 pairs of shoes, plus, I don't know, a snowmobile probably. So anyway, I was walking on my trail and on my way back, because the weather's getting funky, we're supposed to get some snow squirrels, as they're called, some snow squalls and some icky weather, right? So I'm hoofing it back and it's getting cloudier, and I'm thinking, oh no, I'm familiar with the trail, and yet I managed to get to a part that there was a split, I'm like, I'm not really recognizing which way do I go, and the sign really wasn't clear, and I parked in a different spot than I usually do. So stretch the boundaries of comfort everywhere I can, that it doesn't make me lose my mind. Then I go park in a different place, because I know I'm going to get my way off this mountain. I know I'm going to find my way, and there's enough people that I could ask, so it's not like the risk is huge. So it's just my discomfort of so I'm standing there, and I said, okay, well, I'm pretty sure if I track where I was and what should be around me, well, I started getting my bearing a little bit closer. And as I was standing there in those few brief moments of going, there was a little bit of a coming up behind me, which, that was odd. It sounded like something bigger. It sounded like it had a little more foot involvement than a human, and it didn't sound like 2 humans coming. It was something else. It was a deer, a surprise. A little teeny tiny dog hanging out a window, a little chihuahua. So it comes by. It was a baby deer, well, a young deer, probably a yearling or so, not a baby, right? And so I thought, that's really odd to see a younger deer just kind of walking on the path, and kind of hoofing it. Cloven hoofing it, was kind of moving quickly, and when it realized, I turned around, it realized that I was there, and I realized it was there, and we kind of looked at each other for a second. I don't know who was more startled, the deer or me. I think maybe the deer, because the deer just really was like, yeah, I'm on an angle of I ain't digging this, and I'm moving quickly away from you. I definitely don't like that. And it took off, and went right over a creek and onto the other side. And I immediately went into mom mode. I'm like, oh no, baby's lost, because as I took some video of this beautiful little deer, it was going, making deer noise. I don't honestly know. When I heard it, I went, is that coming out of that deer? Is that the sound that frightened baby deers make? And I guess it is, because that one was going, Mom, 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 Mom. It wasn't quite that stewy bad, but it was definitely, the look was like, uh-oh, I've lost my contact. I don't know where I am. And so I was going into, a little bit of that mom hyperventilation. I don't know where my baby is. Oh no. Or there's a stranded child there. I don't know where that child's mother is. What the heck, And so I'm automatically wanting to revert back to some old behaviors of, let me caretake this, let me shepherd this. And I got the kind remind was, you're in the natural world. Let natural world do what it does. That animal's mother or family knows where it lives. It's not in that big of distress. It's not bleeding. It's not missing any major organ or anything on the outside of its body that you're aware of. And so, it's okay that you just trust a little bit. And yet I was just kind of hooked there for a few seconds of, oh no. And I watched, and the next thing that I realized was this poor little thing. It wasn't that its family didn't know where it was and it couldn't get to him. It was that I assumed that the family was back there somewhere and it had darted ahead. That little baby had lagged behind. Its family was up the road a ways on the side of the creek. But there was a whole family of 4 of them. And I started praying, the light of God surrounds you, the love of God enfolds you, the prayer for protection. I started saying that and saying, okay, this is not about my human emotion getting involved in, oh no, what does my mom self need to do in this? My mom self didn't need to do anything except acknowledge that that animal has a mother. Whether it's alive or not is, who knows, but it's got caretakers and nannies. And even if it doesn't have a dear mom or nanny, even if it didn't for some weird reason, it still has its energetic source of protection, Mother Nature. It still has what it intrinsically has in the natural world. Doesn't mean that it can't meet harm. It just means trust and know that this is a little bit of a lesson, a bit of a test there, Kate, and see what you can do with this. And so I was like, okay, I'm not comfortable, walking around and hearing the of a frightened deer and going home with that on my mind, but okay, all right. And so as I watched, it wasn't but maybe 20 seconds that I kept walking on the trail, and the deer is like looking around. Next thing I know, mom pops up her head, or nanny or whatever, a female deer pops up her head, a grown-up one, looked over and kind of made eye contact like, yo, I'm right here. Made eye contact with me, not the baby. It was awesome. It was almost like that mama or the nanny deer, whatever, that female deer was, poor baby, it's not even Mother's Day. Take the day off. Your kids are grown and you're not responsible for ours. Just be kind to them. Give them space. And let them do their natural world thing. It was a lot of fun. I had a great time. I didn't see anything else. I think I saw a couple of chickadees and a couple of magpies, but that was about it. That was the most profound thing that happened while I was out interfacing with nature today. It was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it so much. So anyhow, I thought that I would share my experience of what it is to have, I think I'm on the right track, and like, yeah, there's not anything that could rock me or shock me or take me off my path of faith, and I believe, and sure is. There's still some stuff, and it isn't that things can't take us off our path briefly. It's a matter of how long are we distracted and why, and when we get to the why part, sometimes it's good to have a little distraction and panic together. However, don't generally make for good activities that we choose when we're trying to abate that, nervous energy. So it was really good to get another kind remind from the natural world about what it is to just kind of let things ride, just let things go for a second. When there's a true emergency and a need to act, quickly, generally speaking, intuition kicks in and most people know, like, or they freeze, one or the other, but they'll move into action, so it's a matter of just let that unfold organically, naturally, and see what kind of solution, if any, do you need to implement. And the truth is that there was no solution to be had because there was no problem, and it was really none of my business. So there's my panic attack, minor one, miniature one. At least it didn't lock me up in a major panic attack that I couldn't move or just I've had those, many of them, where I froze and couldn't do anything exactly like I said, just, gridlocked in my own mind of, oh God, what do I do? So I'm very glad to know that it didn't turn into some full-scale thing with me codependently worrying about a poor little deer that I'm pretty sure it would have been all right. So anyhow, take care of your beautiful selves. I hope you're enjoying your day, whatever part of the day you're in. It's getting frosty, froggy, and weird here. Yeah, there's a lot of traffic and a lot of interesting choices on the road here. So I'm gonna go now. Take care, and I'll see you again next time. Bye-bye, friends.